Hello, my name is Adam Luff, Senior Director, Oil and Gas Global Business Unit with Oracle, specializing in the EPM and BI product suite on offer. The scenario that we're going to be discussing today is very simplistic. It's being able to review my oil field regions, wells, basins, what have you, right down to the wellhead level, using the tools that we have available, analyze these pictorially to pick out my outliers from a graphical perspective, plan to do something about it. So it could be a frac job, could be some kind of mechanical workover. After I planned and reviewed it and had that approved, maybe I have AFE, I then put this back into my dashboard so that I can do my plan versus actuals in the dashboards. So let's begin here looking at the Southeast Texas Basin in this example here, and I'm looking at my run rates and my actual price versus my run rates, and as I drill in further, you will see that I now see my intervention at this specific well. So this is wellhead information that's being brought in from all of my cross-application information. You can see my revenue, my expenses, ROI against this certain intervention. I could drill in and look at contractor performance than this if this is run by a third party. But now what I want to do is take a slightly bigger view of my my field. And in this example here, you can see that I have a number of wells up here on the left hand side that are giving me some grief because they're costing a lot of money, but I'm not getting a lot of money out of it. So these specific wells are all grouped by API. As you can see, the API, these are real wells that we have this information for. So I drill in and look at more information from here. You can see if I can start to do some planning and some actual versus planning here in this tool here. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm only looking at about 16 or 17 wells here. If I wanted to review that in any other format, such as an Excel spreadsheet, look at this, 4,418 lines. That's a lot of information to go and troll through just to find one specific outlier. Now we're going to do some further analysis of this. I'm going to refresh this and go into the application. Here in my application, what I'm able to do here is I have an interactive well lease operating statement. We'll have a look at that in a few seconds, but now just very simplistically, I've got my specific well here, which is 22501.203.0393, which is a specific well, and this is by lease, so I can look at this by lease, by well. It doesn't really matter how I want to look at this information. But I'm pretty sure that if I say that in year 5, I'm probably going to do a $500,000 frac job on that well, and then in year 8 I'm probably going to do another mechanical workover, like swap out some manifolds, adding up zeros to that, make it $400,000. I'll submit that back into my model, and live, that's now saved. If I look at my lease operating statement and refresh this, it brings in the figures that I've just entered into this. So again, I'm still looking at a lease operating statement by well, and I have my frac costs and my workover costs that I've just plugged in year 5 and year 8. Across the top, I have my well decline rate coming from my feeder system. In this case, it's Aries, Toe, or Peak. Could be P2, don't really care where that information is coming from. And we have my barrels of oil per day subtracted from the decline rate, and you can see that in year 10 or year 11, we're saying here that anything, in my example here, anything less than 10 barrels of oil per day, I just want to shut it down. So I have a rule built into my tool here that says done, finished. But now as the engineer, I know that if I frack this out, I'm never going to get back to 250 barrels of oil per day, but I'll probably get to 200. So let's just submit that back in. And then if I do a mechanical work over here, you'll see these numbers begin to change now. I'll never get back up to this, and I'll probably get back up to about 150 barrels of oil per day at that period. And watch what's happening over here on the right hand side. The life of my well is being extended. In this case, I've now extended the well from 11 years to 17 years. All of these calculations are coming from my feeder system. In this case, it's actually coming from a PeopleSoft system that's bringing in my cost per barrel, my operating costs, my SG&A, my drilling costs, completion costs, cash flow, everything's discounted against WACC. But here's where it gets interesting. So I've just done analysis of one particular well using this tool. So remember, everything is interlinked. Let's say I want to take this now and look at my whole portfolio. So here's the other 15 or 16 wells that I've been playing with over the course of a day or so. And what I want to do now is I want to run Crystal Ball against this. So the first thing I'm going to do is run Crystal Ball against these wells, run this simulation, and I'll let this run. And whilst this is running, it shouldn't take too long. 5,000 simulations there in the time it takes me just to talk about it briefly. And at the end of this, what we're going to find is, at the end of these 5,000 simulations based upon my parameters, invest $11 million because I have that kind of money around because I'm a big organisation. My MPV spread across just these 16 wells is $74 million additional revenue from these wells. However, my staff is a problem here, and what this is telling me that is I'm 100% sure that if I conduct this plan, I'm going to run out of staff very, very quickly. There's my 100%, and now I need an extra 2.4 people, and that's probably not going to happen. So now the OptQuest Analyzer is running, and what it's doing the analysis and telling me, and it's going to watch these numbers change here. They're going to change from 1 to 0, which is basically me in this demo environment saying, should I fund this well or not? The net result of this will be there'll be a best solution, and it's already continued to clunk through this. So this is doing about 100,000 simulations and saying currently at the moment, it just changed again. Currently at the moment, I'm 112% optimized staff for an investment of about $6 million, and the application is going to tell me which ones I should farm out, workovers I should do, or whether I should prospect them, whether I should cap them, so on and so forth. And that's it. That's all I'd like to talk about today, and that's product upstream optimization for oil and gas industry.